A battle-hardened soldier finds a sealed container buried beneath the desert sands, and when a voice from inside begs him not to open it, he makes a choice that binds his fate to an ancient being, a forgotten war, and a bond neither of them was meant to survive. Subscribe if you want to see how a chained gift becomes a chosen bond. The sandstorm had been gone for 6 hours when Sergeant Marcus Cole saw the metal edge shining beneath the dunes. The desert was quiet now. Too quiet. The twin suns were low in the sky, turning the sand orange and red. Marcus's squad was already 3 clicks ahead, moving toward their next checkpoint. He should have followed them. He knew that. The desert was full of broken machines and old wreckage from the Kathrani War. Most of it was useless. Most of it was dangerous. But this was different. The metal was smooth, not rusted. Almost new. Light reflected off it in a way that made Marcus stop walking. He sighed and tapped his comm unit. "Command, this is Cole. I found something unusual. Requesting 15 minutes to investigate." For a moment, there was only static. Then a voice replied, tired and flat. "Permission granted. Make it quick, Sergeant." Marcus knelt down and pulled out his combat knife. He began to dig. The sand came away easily. Inch by inch, more metal appeared. The object was smaller than he expected, about 2 feet long. Cylindrical. Covered in symbols he did not recognize. They weren't human. They weren't Kathrani. Marcus wiped sweat from his face. His fingers traced a thin seam running along the side of the container. That was when he heard it. "Please." Marcus froze. The voice was weak and thin, like wind blowing through a broken pipe. But it was clear. A voice. "Please," it said again. "Don't open it." Marcus pulled his hand back as if burned. His heart started to pound. "Who's there?" he asked. Silence. 3 long seconds passed. Then the voice returned, quieter this time. "If you open this container, you will regret it. I am begging you. Walk away." Marcus stood slowly. He scanned the desert, rifle ready. There was nothing. No movement. No enemy. Just sand and sky. The voice was coming from inside the container. Marcus had been a soldier for 12 years. He had fought on 4 different planets. He had learned one rule that kept him alive. Never trust a voice you can't see. Every instinct told him to bury the container again and leave. Instead, he spoke. "Why?" Another pause. Then the voice answered, softer now. "Because what is inside cannot be undone. Because I am tired. Because I have been buried for so long that I forgot what light feels like. And because if you open this, you will become responsible for me." Marcus slowly sat back on his heels. The suns were sinking lower. Time was running out. His squad was waiting. Command was waiting. The war was waiting. "What are you?" Marcus asked. Something like sadness filled the silence. Something that should have remained forgotten. Marcus thought of his empty room back at base. Of the messages from his sister that he never answered. Of the dreams that woke him at night. He exhaled. "I've carried worse," he muttered. He pushed the knife into the seam. The container opened with a sharp hiss, like a dying breath. Inside was a creature curled in on itself. It was small, almost child-sized. Its skin was pale blue. Its body was thin. Too thin. Its hands had too many fingers, shaking as light touched them for the first time in what might have been centuries. Its eyes opened. Liquid silver. The creature pressed itself against the far end of the container, fear pouring off it. "I warned you," it whispered. "I told you not to open it." Marcus sheathed his knife. "Yeah," he said calmly. "I was never good at following orders." The creature made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. "You don't understand," it said. "I am Vel'kari. I don't know what that means." "It means I am bound," the creature replied. "To whoever frees me. Until death. Yours or mine. There is no escape from this." Marcus studied it closely. The marks on its wrists told a story of long captivity. Not just the container. Something worse. He thought again about walking away. Instead, he asked, "What's your name?" The creature blinked, confused. "My name? Everyone has one." A long pause. "I am called Whisper," it said slowly. I was called Whisper. Before. Before what? Before I became something to be buried. Marcus extended his hand. The creature stared at it as if it were a weapon. I'm Sergeant Marcus Cole, Marcus said. And whether I regret this or not, you can't stay in that box forever. You should leave me, Whisper whispered. Marcus kept his hand out. But I won't. Slowly, painfully, Whisper reached forward. Its fingers were cold and light when they touched Marcus's palm. You are making a mistake, Whisper said. Marcus helped it out of the container. Story of my life. Whisper stood unsteadily, barely reaching Marcus's chest. Up close, faint glowing patterns could be seen beneath its skin, like veins or circuits. The bond, Whisper said quietly. You will feel it soon. I am sorry. What will I feel? Marcus didn't get an answer. Something changed in his chest. A weight settled there. Not pain, but presence. He could feel Whisper's fear. Its exhaustion. Like a cold wind brushing his thoughts. That, Whisper said. That is the bond. Marcus took a slow breath. Strange. Heavy. But not unbearable. Can you walk? He asked. Whisper looked up, shocked. You aren't angry? You told me not to open it, Marcus said. Any consequences are on me. He turned toward the distant figures of his squad. We've got 3 clicks before dark. Whisper followed him. The empty containers slowly disappeared beneath the desert sand behind them. The base commander stared at the blue-skinned creature like someone had dropped a live grenade on his desk. No, Commander Heron said flatly. Absolutely not. Marcus stood straight, Whisper just behind him, arms wrapped around its thin body. The command office was small and loud with machines, but Whisper stayed silent, eyes lowered. Sir, Marcus said calmly, this is not a normal situation. You think? Heron snapped. This is a military base, Sergeant, not a shelter. And that thing? His name is Whisper, Marcus interrupted. Heron's jaw tightened. I don't care if its name is Emperor of the Stars. Alien contact goes through protocol. Containment, study, or burial. Whisper spoke softly before Marcus could reply. I know your protocols. Heron looked at the creature sharply. You speak again without permission? I have been in your facilities before, Whisper said. Many times. That is how I ended up in the box. The room fell quiet. Heron leaned forward. What did you do to deserve that? Whisper hesitated. Then his silver eyes flicked to Marcus. I refused to abandon my bonded partners when they were dying. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. Through the bond, he sensed an old grief, hard and sharp, like crystal. Without thinking, Marcus stepped slightly in front of Whisper. Sir, Marcus said, this is already decided. The bond is formed. Wherever I go, Whisper goes. Heron's face turned red. Then maybe you shouldn't go anywhere. Maybe I lock both of you in quarters until High Command decides what to do. You could, Marcus replied. But we're down 30% combat strength. You need scouts. And I'm the best risk-taker you have. The room stayed silent for a long moment. Finally, Heron exhaled hard. Fine. But that creature stays out of combat zones. It doesn't eat our food. Doesn't sleep in our bunks. And if it causes even one problem, you're both off this planet. Understood? Understood, sir. Marcus turned and guided Whisper out before Heron could change his mind. They walked halfway down the corridor before Whisper spoke. You lied. About what? You are not your best scout. Marcus smiled faintly. No. But I am the one most willing to take chances. Whisper was quiet for a moment. Then, through the bond, Marcus felt curiosity. The first patrol came 3 days later. Marcus requested solo recon, 6 hours north through the canyon systems. Command approved quickly, clearly happy to have him and Whisper out of sight. Whisper walked beside Marcus without complaint. His steps were careful at first, then steady. Though small, he moved like someone used to danger. You've done this before, Marcus said. Yes, Whisper replied. My first bond was a soldier. Long before your people learned to write. That's comforting, Marcus muttered. They walked in silence. Then Whisper stopped. There are 3 Kathrani above us, he said. 700 meters east. Marcus did not look up. How do you know? I feel intent, Whisper said. Fear. Anger. The desire to harm. And them? They are uncertain. Curious. They haven't decided to attack. Marcus tightened his grip on his rifle. Can you tell when they decide? Yes. But by then it may be too late. So what do you suggest? Whisper's anxiety sharpened into focus. We show them attacking would be unwise. Before Marcus could stop him, Whisper stepped forward and raised one hand. The patterns beneath his skin began to glow pale white. A low hum filled the air. High above, rock cracked. Marcus watched as 3 Kathrani soldiers lost their footing. The ledge beneath them collapsed. They tumbled down the canyon wall, hit the sand hard, and ran. The light faded. Whisper swayed. Marcus grabbed his arm. What the hell was that? Persuasion, Whisper said weakly. I did not hurt them. I removed their advantage. You can do that? Sometimes. It is tiring. Whisper hesitated. I thought you would prefer a solution without killing. Marcus studied him, then nodded. You thought right. That was good work. Whisper blinked. Good. Yes. But next time, warn me. I will. Something shifted between them. The 12th patrol went wrong. Whisper stopped suddenly, eyes wide. Many, he whispered. We must run. They made it 50 meters before gunfire exploded around them. Marcus dragged Whisper behind a rock formation as bullets tore through the air. Kathrani voices echoed, coordinated and calm. Can you do it again? Marcus asked, already knowing the answer. Whisper shook his head. He was exhausted. How many? Marcus asked. 23. More coming. Marcus checked his ammo. Not enough. Marcus, Whisper said softly. I must tell you something. Now is not the time. Yes, Whisper said. It is. He gripped Marcus's arm. The bond does not just connect us. It is meant for shared death. If you die, I die. Marcus froze. My kind was made to die beside our bonds, Whisper continued. But I refused. That is why I was sealed away. The gunfire closed in. I am going to do something, Whisper said. And you must not stop me. He stepped out from cover, hands raised. If you want the human, Whisper's voice rang through the canyon, loud and clear, you go through me. The world changed. Through the bond, Marcus felt it. Centuries of fear, loneliness, grief, and rage poured outward. Not an attack on the body, but on the mind. Kathrani soldiers screamed. Weapons fell. Fear shattered them. Then Whisper collapsed. Marcus caught him before he hit the ground. Stay with me, Marcus said urgently. They ran, Whisper whispered weakly. Good. That was the stupidest thing you've ever done. You opened my box, Whisper murmured. You don't get to judge. Marcus laughed, a broken, rough sound. He carried Whisper back toward base. And for the first time, Marcus realized the bond was no longer just a burden. It was a promise. Marcus carried Whisper back to base through the night. The desert was quiet again, but not peaceful. Twice, Marcus had to stop because Whisper's breathing grew shallow and weak. Each time, Marcus sat in the sand and held him close, talking about anything he could think of. His sister, old training stories, even bad jokes. He did not know if Whisper could hear him. But the bond stayed. Thin. Fragile. Still there. When they reached the base, medics rushed forward and then froze. No idea what to do with that, one of them said. Then move, Marcus replied. I'll stay. They placed Whisper on a medical bed. Machines hummed, screens flickered with symbols no one understood. Marcus sat beside him, holding one cold hand because it felt right. Commander Heron appeared sometime before dawn. He looked tired. Older. I heard what happened, Heron said quietly. 0 enemy casualties. 0 friendly casualties. Marcus didn't look up. He stopped them. Heron nodded once. Get some rest, Sergeant. That's an order. Marcus did not rest. Just before sunrise, the bond tightened. Marcus felt it like a breath being taken after almost drowning. Whisper stirred. You're still here, Whisper whispered. Where else would I be? Marcus said. You should leave, Whisper murmured. I am still a burden. Marcus squeezed his hand gently. Some burdens are worth carrying. Whisper fell asleep again. 3 months passed. The war did not stop, but it slowed. Whisper recovered slowly, never fully strong, but always alert. He stayed near Marcus, sensing danger before it came, guiding patrols away from ambushes. Soldiers began to trust the quiet blue creature who never raised his voice. Then the Kathrani attacked the base. It happened at dawn. By noon, the outer walls were gone. By sunset, fighting reached the corridors. We need evacuation, Marcus said, pressing a hand against his bleeding side. The transport is gone, Heron replied. We're surrounded. Through the bond, Marcus felt Whisper, come, steady, watching. How many hostiles? Marcus asked. 2,000, Whisper answered softly. They want the base intact. Heron laughed bitterly. High Command is talking about orbital strike. Wipe everything. They'd kill us all, Marcus said. Yes, Heron replied. They consider it acceptable. Whisper stepped closer to Marcus. Marcus, he said quietly, meant only for him. I need to talk to you. No, Marcus said instantly. Whatever it is, no. You haven't heard me yet? I know that look. Whisper reached up and touched Marcus's face with 2 long fingers. My kind was not only made to die beside our bonds, Whisper said. We were made to die for them. Marcus grabbed his wrist. Absolutely not. If I act, Whisper continued, calm and certain, I can stop them. All of them. Permanently. That would kill you. Yes. Then no. Whisper's voice stayed gentle. If I do nothing, everyone here dies. Including you. And then I die anyway. Marcus shook his head. His hands were shaking. There has to be another way. There is not enough time. Whisper's eyes were peaceful now. Not tired. Not afraid. You taught me something, Whisper said. That a bond does not have to be about duty. It can be a choice. Then choose to stay, Marcus whispered. I am choosing, Whisper replied. I am choosing you. Marcus swallowed hard. Tell me about your sister, Whisper said suddenly. What? You said she sends messages. Tell me why you don't answer. Explosions shook the base. Marcus closed his eyes. Because I don't know how to explain who I've become, he said. Because the war never really leaves. Whisper nodded. Then tell her that. Tell her you are still alive. Still trying. Promise me, Whisper said softly. Promise you will answer her. Marcus couldn't speak. He nodded. Whisper smiled. Fragile. Brave. It was an honor, Whisper said. If there is another life, I hope I find you there. Light filled the room. Marcus tried to reach him, but the bond pushed back. Not painful, just firm. Through it, Marcus felt Whisper expanding, touching every hostile mind. Not with rage, but with weight. With truth. With the cost of war. The enemy stopped. Not fell. Not died. Stopped. The base went silent. Then the light vanished. Marcus woke 3 days later on a hospital ship. His first thought was loss. The bond felt empty. Then he reached for it. And felt something. A thread. Thin. Still there. He tore out of bed and followed it down quiet corridors to a sealed medical room marked with warnings. He opened the door. Whisper lay on the bed, smaller than before, skin pale, patterns dark. But breathing. You should be resting, Whisper said weakly. Marcus laughed, breathless. You too. They said I would not wake, Whisper murmured. They were wrong. What changed your mind? Marcus asked softly. Whisper looked at him. You promised to answer your sister. Someone needs to make sure you keep that promise. Marcus laughed again, this time real. The war? Whisper asked. The enemy retreated, Marcus said. High Command is talking about peace. Whisper nodded. Good. Do you regret it? Marcus asked. Whisper's silver eyes met his. Not for a moment. Marcus took his hand. Me neither. Outside the window, Stars drifted past. Far away, beneath desert sands, an empty container lay forgotten. A prison that had become a beginning,